Welcome to Sunrise Extra. What just happened?
Let him finish. What were you saying, Chris?
Such a good vibration. You think you'd hit the high notes? Sounds like. Hit the high notes.
We can't play real music here, so we have to like create this like almost music that's almost hit music, which doubles as our intro.
So you guys, we were missing
the song, by the way.
Marky Mark.
I was going to say I will not accept Mark Wahlberg.
But
as
it
an
was.
answer. It was Marky Mark and
the Funky Bunch.
Anyways.
So we are back after Facebook was not letting us go live last week for whatever reason, but it's working today.
Powerful Facebook.
Yes, welcome back to Sunrise Extra. So we are talking about our first storm of the season, a bomb cyclone, if you will, that everyone's talking about off the coast. And most
Can you
everyone
just
was
define
feeling
that
it.
again?
What is a
the
bomb cyclone?
Bomb cyclone.
That's a newish term.
It's to give credence to the strength. You okay there?
I thought we were going to show that map for a while, so I was taking a drink. Anyways.
It's to give it's to give the magnitude of this storm its due, right? So a bomb cyclone, a rapid intensification. We talk about these a lot during hurricanes and hurricane season, but you know, the North Pacific spawns a lot of hurricane-like storms that are much bigger and non-tropical in nature, in case in point what we just had. So rapid intensification, a bomb cyclone, we get that classification when the pressure in the central pressure of the storm drops 24 millibars, a millibar an hour in 24 hours. So 1 millibar drop per hour for 24 hours. And what this storm system did was lower to a pressure. In fact, I think I've got the graphic. Let me go ahead and fast forward that real quick on my weather graphic computer here. And yeah, so yesterday morning, this thing bottomed out at 942 millibars, which is the lowest pressure ever recorded in this quadrant of the Pacific Ocean. A massive, massive storm, a very deep storm, huge seas. Ahead of that, we had wind gusts on the Oregon coast, by the way, to 82 miles an hour at Yaquina Bay, 77 miles an hour, I think, at the Clatsop Spit. We also had a gnarly little squall line that went through from about Salem to, I want to say, Woodland in the early afternoon hours that produced a 1/4 inch of rain in Hillsborough at the Hillsborough Airport in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, they got a 1/4 inch of rain.
This is video in Hillsborough of an elementary school's greenhouse that was blown over. Hillsborough police showed up there, and yes, in so many neighborhoods this is what you saw. We have so many, storm drains that get clogged with leaves, and it creates ponding. There, a tree fell onto an unoccupied parked truck. 2 people sadly were killed up near Seattle when a tree fell on their car. And then this is a new photo into us from someone who lost their shed and a carport that blew over.
Oh man,
Brenda, you got caught in this.
Well, we went out for a walk yesterday, and it was just kind of some light rain when we started.
That thing came in fast.
I wore nothing. Waterproof, wrong move, but it was so much fun. I felt like a kid. We were literally soaked. We had to wring out the clothes and throw them in the dryer.
Running home?
No, we just got soaked.
The best is when, I don't know how long you were planning to walk for, but let's just say
about an hour.
Okay, so the best is when that happens at the 30-minute mark. When you're like, I am like the furthest I'm going to be from home, and now we got to go all the way back. It's I've been stuck like that with the dog before, taking the dog for a walk. When you look up and go, I think we can make it. No, you can't.
Oh, it was blowing.
You were at a soccer game, huh?
Yeah, this was the storm before the storm. So Saturday morning.
It was a real wet Saturday.
Yeah. So we got to the soccer field, and Mia, my wife's like, is that cloud coming at us or away from us? Right? It was just dark and ominous. The game started at 9 o'clock in the morning. I would say at 9:03, it started pouring. I mean, not like a light rain. It was pouring, and it was on a turf field, so they kept playing. And
do you run to the car at that point?
We had our umbrellas. We had one. Mia said, "You sure you don't want to run back?" "No, I don't. I'll be fine." No, I wasn't. But they let those kids play. I mean, the downpour didn't stop for 15 minutes. It was a whoosh, and it never went away completely. And they played for an hour and a half in the rain. They won 3-1.
Yes.
They haven't won a lot of games this fall, so that was cool to see. But I did not have the umbrella, so I'm leaning into my wife's chair with hers, and
You're right in the drip zone.
Feel like my butt. I can feel my butt. Like just completely soaked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a puddle, not on my seat, in my pants. And I stood up afterwards. The kids thought I was great when they were coming up the field. I said, hey guys, is Daddy's butt wet? Is my butt wet? And they're, yeah, look at him,
sitting in a puddle.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, lots of people talking about they were watching the football game last night, Saturday Night Football on NBC. It was in San Francisco, the 49ers, and it was just pouring. I mean, yeah, certain shots they were taking, the balls just slipping off people's hands. People were slipping on the field.
Inches and inches of rain fell over the Bay Area. So that's kind of the other facet of the storm, the atmospheric river, if you will, that we missed out on, thankfully.
Right.
We might see a weaker atmospheric river later this week that might give us an inch of rain. Nothing like the intensity of that, though.
So you were saying, I mean, as you know, kind of record setting as this pressure storm was, there wasn't as much rain with it, right?
Yeah, the main focus
kind of
of the rain, the main focus of the rain was to our south, was in extreme southern Oregon for a little while, and then that atmospheric river shifted south and hit California, Central California. The High Sierra got big snow, and so we missed out on a lot of the rain, which is, we never really thought we were going to get soaked. And that's probably a good thing, because that kind of rain all at once is never. They're having
flooding,
all kinds of problems with debris flows, mudslides, etc.
Yeah.
I was walking through my backyard yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, when am I going to be able to mow this lawn again? Because my backyard, when it gets wet, gets very sloppy.
Muddy,
and suddenly we went from like that summer of like, when is it ever going to rain, to wow, we're getting a lot of rain. Are we in like makeup season right now?
That's okay. So we, the rainfall in Oregon, is in Portland, like, definitely the second half of October, you're into the wet season. I mean, it's always a hedge as to like how late is summer going to hang on. It can hang on to early October, but by mid-October, there's a noticeable spike in average daily rainfall.
Okay.
So we're definitely in the heart of it, and now from now until early January, we're into was climatologically the wettest part of our year.
Are we still in that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brenda.
No, go ahead. People are weighing in. Jeanette, good morning. She says it's still whipping here in Seaside.
High wind warning continues at the beach until 9 a.m. Could still see some 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts there. Ooh. There were numerous radar-indicated storms with rotation, indicating the possibility of water spouts as late as like 9 or 10 o'clock last night. Wow. There were a bunch of tiny little supercell thunderstorms lined up offshore. Luckily, we don't have any reports of any of them coming onshore, but that was a concern, late last week, is were we going to even see maybe tornadoes at the Oregon coast?
Jennifer Taft, what are you talking about, girl? She says, I wish it was winter and it was ice and snow. No. Veronica Gaston says, I was on my way home from OHSU when it hit. It was kind of cool, yet scary at the same time. I actually went live on Facebook. So she says, check out the video on my page.
Brian Rockrail fan on YouTube says he lost power overnight, but the power came back on before morning this morning. But
You're always losing power. Did you?
We did not lose power this weekend. You're right. I don't know what's going on with that neighborhood, but we cannot seem to hold on to the power. We did hold on this weekend.
Nice.
We flickered.
Freddie said it's mellow in Salem.
Salem had a 57-mile-an-hour wind gust with that squall line that went through yesterday.
You remember what time about that would have been?
I'd say maybe 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Update from the coast by way of Christy Shirk. Good morning, Christy. Next to her name it says anniversary follower. I wonder what that means. Anyways, Christy says we had bunches of wind, as she describes it, in Tillamook yesterday, but not a whole lot of rain. She says she took her mom's dog for a walk, and she actually enjoyed the windy conditions.
Yeah.
Can we bring up? Let me see if I want to fast forward real quick to our Cannon Beach camera, because man, there's another
You guys
story.
are looking live at Newport though this morning right now.
The camera bopping in the breeze.
There's Cannon Beach.
Usually there's a beach there.
Dark.
Well, I know it's dark, but I don't think we're doing justice to the fact that there's like no beach there right now. The way the water's just coming way up. There's a coastal flood advisory, high surf, just some wicked waves. I had a really great viewer photo. Maybe can we bring that up too? Did I have that in there? I keep cycling through. That's why I'm looking off here. I'm trying to see if I put that weather graphic in there, if I put that photo in there. This is from John Monroe in Lincoln City. I mean, we have no idea. It would be great if we had some perspective there, but we don't. But
it's like Hawaii level.
That's super cool.
I thought that was the clouds, and that was like a little mountaintop down below.
I did too. It looked like sand.
Yeah.
That's all water.
That is a wicked, frothy ocean. That was off of Lincoln City yesterday. John Monroe at Headstand Photography took that.
Yesterday, I didn't even leave the house yesterday. I was kind of putzing around, and then all of a sudden, those like supercell kind of things you were talking about.
Squall line came through, yeah.
I mean, there was no rain, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, and I look outside and it was just like, and then as soon as it came, it was gone, and it was just bizarre. What is that called if it's
that was a squall line. We had an intense line of showers and storms pop. I actually didn't hear any thunder at my house, but in some cases there was thunder embedded in this, and we tapped into some of the higher atmosphere winds, and that's where we got the really gusty winds. In West Lynn actually clocked a gust near the Abernathy Bridge of, I think, 56 miles an hour ish.
Okay.
Salem 57. Rooster Rock had a gust over 60. I'm saying gorge, and you're thinking, oh yeah, the gorge always gets wind. No, this was a thunderstorm wind in the gorge that was 60 plus.
Constance says lots of wind, thunderstorms, rain in Brookings. Katie wants to know, Chris, when will the wind decrease in Portland?
It already is. It's going to be a really slow ramp down because this storm is still, it's actually tracking closer to us now. I mean, it's getting closer as it approaches Vancouver Island. Maybe I can bring that graphic up and we'll show you real quick on Futurecast. So the storm center is right in the middle of that swirling mass of green and yellow that you see there. That's Futurecast. And it'll make landfall at Vancouver Island a little bit later today. So the center is actually getting closer, but it's also weakening. So as that gradient weakens, the winds will continue to subside. I'm not sure that I answered her question. let me try the short answer. Is they're already ratcheting down. I think today is a kind of a 20-25 mile an hour kind of breezy day on and off, and then tomorrow the wind will be significantly less than that.
Some people wanting to compare it to the Columbus Day storm in the 60s, but it feels like it's not even anywhere near.
So that's
right?
okay. So strictly from a wind perspective here in Portland, no, not even close, right? So there's two reasons why when we mentioned this in the call before the show, people are probably like, well, you're saying this is a record-setting storm, but it sure didn't feel like much here in Portland. Right. The record that we broke was the all-time lowest pressure ever recorded in the Eastern Pacific. Okay. The reason why this storm didn't create unbelievable wind gusts in the Willamette Valley is when this thing bottomed out, it was still 500, 800 miles offshore.
Okay.
When the Columbus Day storm and some of our more recent windstorms have really blown up, they're much, 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 much closer, like within 150, 200 miles of the coast. That makes a big difference in something called the pressure gradient. High pressure on land, low pressure at sea, and the greater the difference at high pressure, and the shorter the distance, the stronger the winds are.
That makes sense.
And we have a very strong high over land, and this low, even though as deep as it was so far out there that we never got that really, really super tight pressure gradient.
I was seeing reports this morning on Twitter that, all those container ships that are like waiting off the coast of California, they blew off the ships.
And there was one
just
a couple of days ago up in, was it Puget? Oh, Strait of Juan de Fuca, one that dumped like 10 or 12 containers into the ocean.
All our ugly sweaters and toys.
There goes. Yeah, I mean, you didn't want it anyway.
Oh my God. But isn't that crazy? Like those things are so heavy.
Rachel says she lives in Westport, Washington. She said, we're still being hammered by heavy wind and rain, and currently our power has been out since 4:15 this morning.
I saw that, yeah.
Save your phone. don't get off your phone. No, seriously, thanks for watching. But
Also here from Katie Braun. She says, thank you for this wind discussion this morning. She says, my new metal carport is literally shaking right now in this wind. And Katie was...
Where are you?
That's a good question, number one. Two, we can show you, Katie, do we still have that video readily available? A carport in Hillsborough.
Oh, yeah.
That was decimated by the wind yesterday. So our director, Brian Matthews, will pull that up here in a minute. So, Katie, I guess be grateful that this isn't your new metal carport, because that one did not withstand the winds yesterday in Hillsborough.
Tammy says king tide's on the way next week. Is that right?
Coast?
Well, they're usually, coincide with full moon and new moon. So we just had so we're coming up on a new moon. So So
Director Brian says November 5th.
Yeah. So when was the last full moon?
I thought it was the last week.
It was about a week and a half ago.
Let me think about that.
I thought you were having.
Let me see when Drew's fangs come out and he starts.
Let me check the hair in my chest.
And he can sink a 3-pointer from Dameland.
I'm going to look that up.
Gosh.
How hard could that be?
Oh, somebody's asking, what about Halloween?
Yeah, so that's
so excited about that.
That is the beauty in this, and we're looking forward to taking our kids out trick or treating this year. And the Halloween forecast looks awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we've had days and days of some fairly wet weather here. I can't. We're stringing a bunch of consecutive days with rain, but Saturday's iffy. But on most of the models that I've looked at, Sunday is not only is Sunday a dry day, but it's one of those days where like the east breeze kicks in a little bit and really helps accentuate the drying, and the leaves start blowing around and whatever. It could be a really nice day.
What percentage certainty do you have this far out?
That's a really good question. I'd say right now I'm probably 70.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel better. I feel much better about Sunday's forecast and the trend than I do about calling Saturday dry.
Okay.
But obviously people want Saturday night to be dry. We could have like a wet start to Saturday and still have a good, quote unquote, good Halloween.
Yeah, well, I didn't even think of that. I guess everybody's going to be trick-or-treating on Saturday night, not Sunday, right?
Oh, what the heck am I talking about? Yeah, Sunday. I thought Halloween was Saturday. I apologize. Don't.
Well, I
listen
don't know. I mean, are we trick-or-treating on?
We're doing yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's Sunday. You don't
So do it on Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah.
If anyone shows up at my door on Saturday, I will have to turn you away. I'm sorry. That was my
Don't
mistake.
answer the door,
But
yeah.
you can't trick or treat.
He'll give you
on
the
day
candy
before
that was at the
Halloween.
at the bottom of the bracket, the Starburst
the
and
candy
the
bracket that we're
Sour
doing.
Patch Kids.
Christy Shirk says, you may still have a chance of getting your Christmas presents. Go to the beach and wait for the containers to come in.
My goodness.
40
like a
shipping
grab
containers
bag.
fell in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. That's crazy.
Should we name these storms? There's a question. Should this one have a name?
Too many names.
Some things are fun to say. Strait of Juan de Fuca is one of those things.
Yeah.
Few?
Do you say?
I say
I say
Fuca.
Fuca.
You say Fuca?
Yeah, I shouldn't. I also say Reese's
I say-
buttercups.
That's true.
Fuca.
I also say Halloween is Saturday when in fact it is again on Sunday. Please remember, Halloween is Sunday.
Well, yeah, if you guys have any photos or, videos that you've seen from over the weekend, send them to us, 226-5088.
I know we mentioned this during the newscast,
That's how
the
somebody sent
newscast.
it.
But speaking of the downpours, do you know what a quarter inch of rain in 10 minutes looks like? That is a classic. Hillsborough does. That's exactly what happened yesterday. When that's unbelievable. I would love to see I'd love to see some video of
I'd
that.
have good gutters.
Yeah, keep the leaves out of those gutters. This is a good reminder. I was wondering, last weekend, I literally looked outside and thought, when are the leaves going to start falling? Like, I feel like I'm thinking.
Haven't either.
Well, they did this weekend.
Yeah, they
ours,
blew
we
off.
still have a
Yes.
ton.
Ton in the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have a ton on the ground.
I got a bunch that are still green on our maple tree out
Same.
front. Yeah, haven't quite turned.
Yep.
Huh.
Why is that? Because we have been commenting on one of our big trees in the yard. It's like, it's still green, barely red, and it's just like hanging in there. Yeah. Huh?
We're turning to you for the answer.
We need to contact an arborist for this.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give some feely they felt the water coming, so they had to stay green a little while longer. I don't know.
By the way, our last full moon was last Wednesday, the 20th.
Okay,
Our
so
next
2
full
weeks
moon
later
is the new moon.
is the new moon, so that would be full moon and new moons.
Oh, nice. Veronica Gaston said she sent a photo to our email. Carol Gendritza says, I'm inland a few miles above Rockaway, and I'm waiting for daylight to assess our damage. Surprisingly, she didn't lose power. I'm wondering how many trees will be across the road heading to Highway 101. Stacy Sanner was driving on Highway 503 during the storm. So much wind and rain.
Yeah, it really was the kind of weekend where you were hoping you didn't have anything to do outside.
Willie Huey says he wants to name this the Rod Bomb Cyclone.
Rod bomb.
Rod Bomb.
Bomb.
Rod Bomb took a couple of days off here to start the work
Did.
week. He likes to wait for the weather to settle down. He likes to talk about weather that's not happening. Chris likes to talk about the weather that is
Yeah,
happening.
well, thanks for sticking with us. All right, you guys, thanks for weighing in on us.
Oh, yeah. Marky Mark. Close out the show. I think we could probably go 12 more seconds.
Just for you.
Bye, you guys. We got it up and rain. We'll see you tomorrow.
Feel it, baby.
Yeah.
I can too.